Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Grace. I'm the crochet designer behind stitchberryblog.com, where you will find a ton of free, simple, feminine, timeless crochet patterns. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, I will have the link to my website down below, as well as everything else that I mentioned in this episode. And this is episode 32 of the Stitchberry podcast, and here I like to share all of my projects that I've been working on, as well as designs and just other cozy things that I like to share. I have so many projects to talk about today. Some are some wins, and others I'm honestly dreading acknowledging their existence because I'm so frustrated right now, but we will get into all of that in this episode. I will try to keep this episode not too long for your sanity as well as for mine, because I've learned for myself, if I do a sit down video like this and I'm talking for more than like 25-30 minutes, it goes downhill after like the 30-minute mark, and words start slurring, words start not making any sense. It's just not a good time. So I'm going to try and keep this as short as possible. Not as short as possible, but I'm gonna try and keep this like a decent time. And also I did switch up the background a little bit. I've been working on rearranging things here in my house, and so this is what we are dealing with today. I'm sorry, hopefully the background will be a little bit more exciting in the next episode, but this is just what we have to do today. I know it's not exciting, but it is what it is. So go ahead and grab coffee, tea, cozy beverage. I have my iced coffee this morning. I recently got the International Delights sugar cookie. It's like a Home Alone themed creamer, and it's like sugar cookie flavored, and it is so good. I love it in hot coffee. I'm not a fan of creamer in iced coffee, but I didn't have any more brown sugar syrup that I like to make to sweeten my iced coffee, so I had to use the creamer in this, but it's still pretty good in this as well. And grab a whip to work on. Let me know what you are working on down below in the comments, and let's get right into it with finished projects. I still have the ends to weave. No, that's not true. I did weave in the ends. I just have to cut the ends. I haven't done that because when I was weaving them in, I didn't have scissors on me. So I finished my sister's socks. It's just a super simple vanilla sock. I did cuff down. These are on a DK weight from Oak and Fiber. Again, DK weight, and this is her robin's egg color. Just a really nice, cozy, simple sock. I am obsessed with this color. I have literally this much left, which is exciting that I was able to use up pretty much the whole skein, but I'm also like a little sad that I don't have enough to like really put into anything, since it is DK weight, so there really isn't that much yardage here. But I'm very happy with how these socks turned out. I'm gonna give these to my sister probably later this week, and I know that she's really going to love them, and she's going to get a lot of use out of them this winter. There isn't really that much to talk about other than I did finish another pair of socks, and it feels really good to have something off of the needles, because I mean, as you will see in this episode, I've been working on a lot of different things, and so I've been trying to get as many things done as I possibly can, because I've just been stressed and overwhelmed with how many things I have going on. So it felt really good to finish up that pair of socks. And my other finished object is not really something that I started and finished, but it's something that I kind of went back to, and I fixed it so that I would actually wear it and enjoy it. So this is my Musselburgh hat. This is a pattern by Ysolda T, and this is a fingering weight beanie pattern that you cast on here at the top of the crown. You do the increases out, and then you just knit a tube, and then you do decreases on the other side. So I originally knit this 2 years ago. I should also say this is Sorella Yarn IV from her Taylor Swift collection. It's her classic sock weight. And then this is Willow, another Taylor Swift yarn, but this one is from Ruby and Roses, and I think this is her soft rose. I know it's like her nylon sock fingering weight blend. So anyways, I originally 2 years ago knit the whole hat in just the green, and I kind of ran out of green. I had to start doing the decreases on the other side sooner than I would have liked. So the hat didn't really fit how I wanted it to fit. I wanted to be able to have the brim here while still having a little bit of slouch here at the top. But because it was shorter, I either had to wear it like this to have a little bit of slouch, or I could create like a tiny bit of a brim, but then it was like a skull cap to my head, and I didn't like how that looked on me. So I had worn it a couple times over the last 2 winters with just without a brim, but I just like didn't like how that looked. It wasn't my style, and so I was planning on knitting myself another one this year, which I would still like to if I have the time. But then I saw on the Crazy Sock Lady podcast how once she runs out of her main color, if she still wants to add some length to it, she will go ahead and add in a scrap yarn. And I was like, duh, that's such a good idea, because you're not going to see the scrap yarn, and it's an excuse to use another colorway that I love so much. So I ripped out the crown, which was about right here is where the crown had started last time, and I knit with the green that I had used to knit the crown. And then once I ran out of the green, I added in the willow, and I did maybe like 3 more inches of the willow. So I added, I think, maybe like 4.5, 5 inches to the length of the hat before doing the decreases for the crown. And I had just like a little bit of the willow left over, so that was also really satisfying that I was able to use up basically that whole scrap. And I love just having this little pop of color in the inside, so I'm really happy with how it looks. And I'm actually going to put it on so you can see. Okay, this is what it looks like on. Actually gonna do a little bit more brim, but I absolutely love it. I love having a little bit of this slouch. I think it looks so good, and yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I already wore it a couple times, and one of the times I was visiting my parents when I was wearing it, and my dad just absolutely loved it, and so he wants me to make one for him for Christmas. So hopefully I can find some yarn in the next couple weeks so I can start that. But I'm very happy that this hat finally fits how I want it to, and I know that I will get literally so much wear out of it for literally years to come. I just think it's so classic, and I'm obsessed with it. We can now move in to whips. I feel like I have so much to talk about with whips, and some of them I just don't even want to acknowledge, but we will get through some of the other ones first before I talk about the one that I'm super frustrated with right now. So like I said earlier, I have just been really focused on finishing up whips and just clearing things off, things that have been around for a while. And one of those things that you have seen so many times but you actually haven't seen in the last probably like 3 episodes, just because I haven't worked on it in like 2 months, is this crochet shrug that I am making for my friend. This is the Trellis Shrug by Crab Able Crafts, and her pattern, it either uses DK weight or worsted weight. I'm using Drops Saffron, which is a fingering weight cotton yarn. I had this left over from my Lilith cardigan, and I figured it would make a really nice lightweight shrug. I'm making this for one of my friends, so I just followed the largest size to accommodate for using a smaller yarn and smaller hook size. So last time you saw this, I was somewhere on the back probably I'd done like this much. And let me just show you. Oh, let me do it this way. This texture is so nice. I'm so excited to block this. Like I've said before, this is not my favorite stitch to crochet, which I think is one reason why it's taking so long, on top of it being a fingering weight garment. But I do love how it looks. It's just not my favorite to crochet, which is not anything wrong with the pattern or anything. That is just a personal preference. So I finished the back panel finally, and then you come back to where you started and you pick up stitches, or not pick up stitches, but you make stitches for the front panel. So I am this far into the front panel, and as you can see, I did the chains for the armhole, which is great that I will have this nice little dip in the front, so I feel like it will just lay really nicely around the neck. So I've made a little bit of progress on the front as well. This has been just a project that I have been picking up whenever I have a little bit of time. It's one of those things that it is easy and mindless. It's just not my favorite thing to work on, but I was originally going to make this for her birthday in June. At this point, my goal is Christmas, and I think just work a few rows here and there on this, and kind of my new goal is hopefully by the end of November I will have a finished shrug. That is the goal. So I'm excited to have pulled this back out and to add it into the rotation of projects, just so that I can get it finished, because I think it will be a really cute piece that I know that she will love wearing. Okay, I actually should have shown this in the finished projects. We'll show it as a whip because there are so many ends to weave in, and in my head it's still a whip because there's still things I have to do to the pattern. But I have made quite a bit of progress, I mean really, because it is done, on the sweater vest pattern that I have been working on. So it is all seamed together. I did the ribbing around the shoulders and the neckline, and this texture is so fun, and it is so good. So I was really focused on this pattern for several weeks, and I was working on writing the pattern. I think the pattern is pretty much done. I just need to grade it for the different sizes. And then I got distracted with a different design that I will show soon. And so then I just haven't picked this back up, but my goal is sometime in November to grade it and to send it out for testers to test it. Grading is one of those things that I have, you know, an hour or so here and there throughout my week to work on it, but grading is just one of those things that I like to dedicate 5-6 hours to do in one day. I just feel like that works so much better for me to do it all at once. That's just most efficient for me, and it just works best to do it all at once. So I just haven't had that chunk of time to be able to dedicate to that. But once I do, then I will do a tester call for this. This is a really quick and easy pattern to work up. Obviously just with designing and getting the shaping, that did take a lot more time, but this is one of those projects that if you have several hours a day to devote to a project, you could easily crochet the front and back panels within a week, and then spend the next week seaming it, putting all of the accents and details on it. So this is a really quick garment to make. I just haven't had the time to work on the pattern because I've been working on other things, but I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I used We Crochet Swish DK, and I forget the color, but I will put the color here on the screen. But I really do love the color. I think it's so cute. I'm planning on wearing it with this white turtleneck, and I think that that would be really cute. So be on the lookout for a pattern test coming for this sweater vest on my Instagram if you are interested in testing this pattern. I believe this was a finished sock last time. Actually, maybe it wasn't. Maybe I was just close, but I've been working on, I'm calling these my fall, or am I calling these my autumn leaves, fall foliage socks? I don't really know. But every year I like to knit a pair of cozy fall socks. The colors or the pattern just reminds me of fall. So this is my fall socks for this year, and I love this colorway. It just reminds me of fall leaves. It is so pretty. I'm just doing a simple vanilla sock, cuff down, how I always do my socks. And this yarn is from Black Cat Fibers. It was one of their clearance yarns that I got at a fiber festival. Don't quite remember the name. It was Canyon something, I think. So I have the first sock completely done, and I just started the second one. Like, I'm literally 2 rows in, and this is a big mess. So not much to see on this. I focused on casting this off so that I could use these needles to do this hat. And then once I finished this hat, then I wanted to finish the other socks that were for my sisters. So now that both of those things are done, I feel like I will be working a little bit more on these socks just as like a simple vanilla sock knitting project as I need it. So I'm very excited to work on these, especially because I am going on like a little fall trip later this week. So I think this will be a really fun, cozy project to bring with me. Okay. Y'all, I am so incredibly close to being done with my folklore cardigan. This is a project you have seen me share in every single episode since I think July, and I am so ready for it to be done. I'm so close. I can like taste it being done. And I think last episode I was hoping to have it be finished by the next episode, but I know that it will officially be done for the next podcast episode. So I am currently literally in the middle of casting off the bind off for the button band. So all I have left to do is weave in a couple ends, sew on the buttons, and finish the bind off, and this cardigan will be done. It is going to be really hard to show on here. I will definitely make sure for the next episode, once it's done, to get some clips of me wearing it. Honestly, I'll probably wear it for the next episode, but she is gorgeous. I love her so much. It is just a really hard thing to show, like all of the details, all of the cables. She is so pretty. I'm using We Crochet Swish Worsted in Hair Heather and then Lost Lake Heather, which is the green. And this is a free crochet pattern by Lion Brand. I'm knitting the medium size, and I love the cables in this pattern. Everything else about the pattern I do not like. Like, I don't like the shaping. I feel like the shaping was weird. The instructions just were not it. The shaping around the sleeves for the front and back panel, that just didn't make sense with the pieces and how they looked in front of me, and then what the instructions said to do. Like, you're supposed to seam the front and back panels together, but with the shoulder cap that comes up, you kind of had to seam the front and back panels to the sleeve where they all like meet in the middle, which I know I talked about this more in detail in the last episode, so go check that out because I don't want to be repeating everything I said. But basically, I think if I was going to knit the folklore cardigan again, which I'm not knitting this again, I definitely would choose another pattern. I'm pretty sure there's at least 1 or 2 other folklore cardigan patterns out there. I would not choose this one again. I love the cables in this pattern and like the seed stitch, and I love all of that, but just the actual construction and shaping, I think was not it. So anyways, I was working for quite a while last night on casting this off. So I've done one whole side and I'm currently at the back of the neck right now. So I have a little bit more than halfway to go, almost halfway, and then I have the whole other side. But it is taking forever. I'm using Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off for this because I do want to try and block out the band just a little bit so it doesn't like cinch in, and so I needed the stretchy bind off to be able to manipulate it and stretch it a little bit. So I've been enjoying that, and yeah, we will have a finished cardigan in the next episode, which is so exciting. I'm so excited to have this, not only to be able to wear it, but to just not be working on this cardigan anymore. And I saved not the best for last, but the project that I've been avoiding talking about because I just don't want to acknowledge it. But if you've seen my last vlog, like a crochet designing vlog, I will have it linked down below, and then you will have seen me start this project and all of that and work on it. And this is the design that I've been putting all of my attention and focus into the last like 2 weeks. So I had a yarn advent from Sorella Yarn, their Downton Abbey holiday countdown. I wanted to create a advent friendly crochet pattern using this advent, and I wanted to create a pillow using this English paper piecing motif. I love it. I felt like it was going to be a really great template and motif for a 12-day crochet advent. So I worked on this literally so much. The pattern is basically almost done, so I was hoping to like do a tester call this week and everything, and then I was gone for the weekend. I came home last night, and while I was gone, I was blocking the front and back panels of this pillow, and then I was seaming it together last night and stuffing it, and I am not happy with how it looks. Like, I'm almost embarrassed. I am embarrassed actually to show this, but this is what it looks like, which honestly on camera it does not look as bad as it does in person. It just, the shape looks so off in person, and I don't, well, I know why. It's because these ends, they are like, you know, they're like curved, so they're not flat, so it just like doesn't look right. I feel like this side hexagons, I feel like the outer hexagons, like their shapes are a little bit distorted just because of the stuffing, like especially these on the sides just don't look right. Again, it does not look as bad in camera like this, but in person I just don't like it, and obviously I don't want to release a pattern that I am not proud of and that I don't like. So I don't want to scrap this design completely, but I think what I want to do is I'm going to take out the joining that I did, and I want to try and do a little bit of a edge all the way around. So crochet like a single edge all the way around the pillow to create, like, I'll put a picture of another pillow to create more of like, I feel like almost like a cushion instead of a pillow, and having that edge around the entire pillow will help the front and back panels to be more flat, which I think will help the design and make it not look so weird and off. So again, I don't know why it looks like, honestly, pretty good on camera here, but still I'm not happy with it, so I need to work on that this week. I will, if I do that, I will run out of yarn, so I need to go to my local yarn store and pray that she has some cream yarn that matches pretty close. at this point, if it's not like an exact match to like this white, that is okay. I just need a cream yarn to go around the edges. So that is where this one is at. I really want this to work out because I think that this will be a really beautiful crochet pattern, especially for using up scraps of yarn or a yarn advent. Like, I think even making this where each square is a different scrap of fingering weight or DK weight yarn, I think would be so cool. So I do not want to give up on this design. The release might just be a little bit postponed because I was hoping to release it like November 30th or December 1st in time for like the official Advent season to start, but it might be postponed, and that is okay. If it needs to be postponed a little bit, it is not the end of the world. At the end of the day, it is just a crochet pattern. I'm trying not to be too hard on myself and to really just focus on creating a design that I am really proud of. So that is where this pillow is at, and hopefully I will be able to figure it out this week. Like I said, I'm going to be gone on a little autumn trip later this week, so that's adding a little bit to my stress. So I really only have like 2 days to hopefully figure something out for this, but it is what it is, and at the end of the day, there's really only so much you can do. And that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a little bit of all of my projects. I feel like that was so much. Like, it's funny how some weeks I only have maybe like 2 or 3 things to share, and then this week I feel like I was showing like 7 things. But anyways, I hope you are enjoying your autumn and that you're getting lots of cozy making in, and I hope you all have a lovely and cozy day, and I will see you in the next episode.